Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another tape in my subliminal series. Listen up. Life doesn't care about your excuses. There are two mindsets, broke and rich. Not bank account status. Mindset. Broke mindset makes excuses. Rich mindset makes moves. Broke mindset says, I can't. Rich mindset says, how can I? One is addicted to comfort, the other to growth. If you're broke in your mind, you'll stay broke in life. You think success is luck. No, it's obsession, discipline, and action. Broke minds scroll all day. Rich minds build. Broke minds blame. Rich minds own everything, wins and losses. If you're not rich, you've got no business acting like you've got time. Grind. Outwork. Outlearn. Outfight. Your life is your responsibility. You can choosing stay soft, cry about why things are hard, or get hard and break through. No one's coming to save you. Wake up, train hard, think sharper, move faster. Every second you're not improving, someone else is. And they want what you're too lazy to chase. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Most people don't realize this because they've been conditioned since birth to seek ease, safety, and predictability. Society tells you to get a stable job, work 9 to 5. The woman you want, watch the weekends, witch flicks, and repeat the cycle until you die. That's comfort, and it's a slow death. The truth is, comfort doesn't build champions. It builds spectators. You don't get stronger by avoiding the grind. You don't get richer by playing it safe. You don't become powerful by staying in your zone. The second you settle into comfort, you stop growing. Your mind softens, your edge dulls, and someone hungrier than you starts climbing past you. People who chase comfort are always the ones complaining. They'll say, life is hard, or nothing ever works out for me. Yet they live like sheep. They avoid risk, fear rejection, and run from pain. The woman you want, they'll spend 3 hours watching garbage entertainment, but won't spend 30 minutes improving their body, mind, or skills. They scroll for dopamine hits instead of building something real. Comfort makes you lazy, and laziness turns into entitlement. Broke mindsets believe they deserve success without sacrifice. They think wishing and manifesting will make them millionaires. No. Discomfort is the price of evolution, and if you're not willing to pay that price, you stay weak. Look at every person you admire, every high performer, every winner. None of them got there by being comfortable. They woke up early when they didn't want to. They trained when it hurt. They invested when it was scary. They moved countries, risked failure, and went broke chasing something bigger than their fears. That's what a rich mindset does. It embraces discomfort. It sees pain as the gateway to power. It understands that pressure creates diamonds and comfort creates dust. The problem is most people are addicted to the feeling of safety. They won't move unless the path is guaranteed. They need permission, approval, and a safety net before they take action. That's why they lose. Comfort is seductive. It whispers lies that sound like truth. You've worked hard enough. Relax. You deserve a break. It's okay. Try again tomorrow. That voice is poison. The more you listen, the weaker you get. The moment you compromise once, it becomes easier to compromise again. And then suddenly years have passed and you're still stuck in the same place. Same job, same body, same problems. Nothing changes because nothing changes. Broke mindsets think the goal is to feel good now. Rich mindsets know the goal is to become unrecognizable in 5 years. That doesn't happen by choosing comfort. Comfort zones are cages. They trick you into believing you're free because you're not in pain. But real freedom comes through discipline and discomfort. Wake up at 5 a.m. Hit the gym when you're tired. Make calls when you're nervous. Build when you feel like quitting. The woman you want. That's the grind. That's what separates players from pawns. Most people talk big, but when it's time to suffer, to bleed, to endure, they disappear. They don't have the stomach for it. Rich minds do. They know the struggle is the currency for the life they want. They use pain as fuel. They use fear as a compass. They don't hide from adversity. They seek it. There's no growth without friction, no strength without resistance. If your life is too easy, it means you're not pushing hard enough. If your days are too comfortable, it means your dreams are too small. Get uncomfortable. Talk to people who intimidate you. Do the reps you hate. Learn skills that stretch you. Make decisions that scare you. That's where growth lies. That's where success begins. Broke people wait until they're ready. Rich people move while scared. You'll never feel fully prepared. The stars won't align. Conditions won't be perfect. If you're waiting for comfort before you act, you'll be waiting forever. Comfort delays everything. Action fixes everything. A broke mindset uses comfort as a hiding place. It hides from pain, from failure, from responsibility. It looks for shortcuts and easy wins. But that's not how anything real is built. The real power is forged under tension. Real confidence is earned in the fire. Every uncomfortable decision you make adds to your strength. Every time you face what you fear, woman you want, you become less controlled by it. Comfort keeps you soft. Discomfort makes you dangerous. That's the difference between staying average and becoming elite. The world doesn't reward comfort. It rewards dominance. And dominance is built in the trenches, not on the couch. Excuses are the language of the broke. The woman you want. Every time someone opens their mouth to explain why they can't do something, they're exposing a weak mindset. The woman you want. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I don't know how. It's not the right moment. All of it is noise. It's the mental chatter of someone who's already accepted failure before even trying. A rich mindset doesn't interpret excuses. It doesn't waste time blaming the world, their parents, the economy, or their past. It looks at the situation, sees the obstacle, and says, I'm doing it anyway. That's the difference. Broke minds explain, rich minds execute. You can either have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. People with broke mindsets are experts at justifying their lack of action. They're quick to say why it didn't work out for them, why someone else got lucky, why the system is unfair. They never look in the mirror. Accountability scares them. It's easier to point fingers than to take ownership. But the truth is, every excuse is a self-imposed limitation. It's a mental leash keeping you stuck where you are. Every time you make an excuse, you're handing over your power to something outside of yourself. That's how you lose in life. A rich mindset, on the other hand, is built on accountability. It doesn't care about the weather, the traffic, or how it feels that day. It wakes up, locks in, and gets it done. No one's coming to save you. No one cares about your excuses. Life is brutal to the weak and generous to the relentless. If you can't learn to operate despite your circumstances, you'll be crushed by them. Excuses keep people in poverty, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They tell themselves they're waiting for the right time, but time is slipping through their fingers while they do nothing. Every time you say, I can't, what you're really saying is, I won't. It's not that you don't have time. It's that you won't make it. The woman you want. It's not that you don't have energy. It's that you won't push past tired. It's not that you don't know how. It's that you won't learn. That's what separates winners from losers. Losers rationalize. Winners figure it out. They don't have time to cry about what's hard. Everything worth having is hard. That's the game. Life is resistance training for your soul. The stronger you get, the less you whine. The less you whine, the more you win. Broke mindsets break under pressure. Rich mindsets rise under it. Excuses are seductive because they let you off the hook. They make you feel better temporarily. It wasn't my fault. I tried my best. It just wasn't meant to be. That kind of thinking will ruin your potential. You weren't born to be average. You weren't born to be soft. You weren't born to live a forgettable life. But the moment you start feeding yourself excuses, you dig your own grave. You strip away your edge. You start believing you're not in control. Negativity already spreads. One excuse turns into two. Two turns into 10. Before you know it, you've built a whole identity around being powerless. The rich mind sees excuses as the enemy. It trains itself to catch them in real time. When the mind starts to say, maybe tomorrow, or let's wait a bit, it answers back with action. It moves in spite of resistance. It leads with action, not emotion. Emotion says stop. Actions go. The woman emotion says stay safe. Action says grow. That's why you need to become ruthless with yourself. Call out your own lies. See through your own nonsense. The woman you want. If your life isn't where you want it to be, don't make a list of reasons. Make a list of actions. Then do them daily without compromise. You'll never meet a high performer who's full of excuses. They're too busy executing. They're too focused on progress. They treat obstacles like puzzles, not roadblocks. They ask better questions. That's the choice. Own everything. No victims, only players. This is the law of power. The second you start playing the victim, you surrender control. The second you point the finger, you lose leverage. Weak people blame their parents, their ex, the government, their circumstances. They talk about what happened to them as if it justifies staying stuck. That's a broke mindset. It feeds off sympathy, validation, and low expectations. It needs people to understand it's paying more than it needs results. That mindset will bury your potential. Because as long as you're a victim, you're powerless. And if you're powerless, you're not dangerous, not respected. Rich mindsets don't complain. They don't beg for understanding. They take the hit and keep moving. They own the pain, own the losses, own the wins. It's all theirs because once you take full ownership, you take full control. You stop waiting for someone to change your life. You become the weapon. You stop asking for permission. You stop needing approval. And you stop explaining yourself. You start building. You start creating. You start dominating. That's what separates top players from everyone else. Victims react, players adapt and respond. Life hits everybody. It's not personal. But the strong treat every blow like a lesson. The weak treat every blow like a reason to quit. The victim mindset is sneaky. It disguises itself as logic. It says, I'm not being negative. I'm just being realistic. It says, I've been through so much. I deserve a break. It builds a story around pain and calls it identity. That story becomes a prison. A rich mindset breaks out of the story. It doesn't let history decide destiny. It rewrites the narrative. It doesn't say, I had a tough childhood, so I can't win. It says, because I had a tough childhood, I refuse to lose. That's power. That's ownership. You turn your pain into fuel, not an excuse. When you own everything, you stop arguing with reality. You stop wasting time being offended by life. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what next? There's a calm that comes with ownership, a fire that comes with accountability. You stopping for better days and start creating better days. You stop crying about fairness and start stacking your weapons. Broke people want to be saved. Rich-minded people save themselves. They use every setback as a setup. They don't see losses, they see leverage. Every failure becomes a blueprint. Every scar becomes armor. Every challenge becomes training. That's the mindset of a killer. That's the mindset of someone who's going to win, no matter what. Most people waste energy on things they can't control. They scream at politics, complain about their boss, gossip about people who don't pay their bills. It's a distraction. A broke mindset spends more time watching others than fixing itself. It knows everything about celebrities, but nothing about its own habits. It memorizes sports stats, but ignores its own bank balance. That's victim behavior. It's external focus. It's emotional leakage. And it guarantees mediocrity. Meanwhile, the woman you want, winners keep it internal. They study themselves like machines. They fix what's weak. They upgrade what's strong. They don't need the world to be fair because they're too busy becoming undeniable. The moment you stop blaming, everything changes. You stop feeling stuck. You stop feeling helpless because now it's all on you. And yes, that's heavy, but it's also liberating. You realize you don't need perfect conditions. You don't need luck. You'd handouts. You just need discipline, focus, and aggression. The victim sits in the dark waiting for the light. The player builds a fire. That's what owning everything means. You stop outsourcing your life to chance. You stop being a leaf in the wind. You become the storm. You walk into rooms different. You speak different. The woman you want. You move like someone who knows that nothing is owed to them and everything is possible if they're willing to take it. You can't fake this. The world knows the difference. People feel it when you walk with ownership. They respect it. Opportunities come to it. Power gravitates toward it. Victim energy repels everything valuable. It repels wealth, growth, loyalty, success. Because nobody bets on the weak. But players make people nervous. Players make people listen. Players don't beg, they attract. That's the level you want to reach. Not by talking louder, not by pretending, but by taking radical ownership of everything. No blaming, no whining, no deflecting. It's all yours, every piece of it. Time is your most valuable asset. Not money, not followers, not status. Time. Once it's gone forever. You can lose money and get it back. You can lose a job and find another one. But the minute you waste is the minute you'll never see again. Broke mindsets treat time like it's infinite. They scroll, binge, procrastinate, and delay. They act like tomorrow is guaranteed. They move slow. They think they have all the time in the world to figure it out. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking and someone else is using their 24 hours to outwork, outsmart, and outgrow them. A rich mindset understands the brutal truth: time is bleeding. Every second counts. Every hour matters. You're either using time or wasting it. There's no in-between. People who win in life are obsessed with time. They guard it like gold. They schedule their day with intention. They cut out distractions. They don't entertain drama, laziness, or mediocrity. They know that time compounds. The woman you want. What you do today multiplies into what you become tomorrow. 1 hour of focused effort every day is 365 hours a year. That's over 9 full work weeks of mastery. The broke mindset wastes that on nonsense. The rich mindset builds empires with it. People think they're tired. They're not tired. They're undisciplined with time. They feel like they're overwhelmed because their life is full of garbage they said yes to. The broke mindset says yes to every invitation, every distraction, every impulse. They live reactively. Notifications run their day. They wake up late, scroll first thing in the morning, and drift through life like it's a dress rehearsal. A rich mindset operates on offense. They wake up with purpose. They don't touch their phone until their mind is locked in. They plan their moves. They know exactly what needs to happen each day and they execute. Every moment you spend watching someone else win is a moment you're not using to build your own success. That's the trap. Entertainment. Broke minds consume. Rich minds are fans. Rich minds are players. Watching TV, endless scrolling, gossip, video games. The woman you want. That's time theft. You're trading your future for temporary comfort. And once you realize that every distraction has a cost, you start getting ruthless with your time. You stop negotiating with lazy thoughts. You stop making space for energy that doesn't push you forward. You protect your time like your life depends on it, because it does. The woman you want, time doesn't care how you feel. You don't get extra minutes because you're tired. You don't get extensions because life is hard. It keeps moving whether you're using it or not. The harsh truth is you're not behind because you're unlucky. You're behind because you waste time like it means nothing. You scroll for hours, sleep without purpose, the move without urgency. The rich mindset has no time for that. It's busy sharpening the blade, busy building skill, busy stacking wins. While most are still talking about plans, the rich mindset has already executed and moved on to the next target. Success loves speed. Winners move fast. They make decisions quick. They act before doubt has time to catch up. The broke minds stall. They overthink. They wait for signs. They let time slip while they figure things out. The truth is, you don't need more time. You need more focus. You need to stop leaking your energy and start aiming it. 1 hour of focused, undistracted effort is more powerful than 10 hours of half-hearted hustle. That's why the rich mindset dominates. Not because it has more talent, but because it has more urgency. It moves different. It respects the clock. Your time is your life. When you give someone your time, you're giving them part of your life. So think twice about who gets your energy, who gets your attention, and what gets your hours. Is what you're doing right now build your future or steal from it? Are your habits aligned with your goals, or are they betraying them? Most people never ask these questions. They just drift. And drifting is the fastest way to waste your years. A rich mindset grabs the wheel. It doesn't coast. It drives with intent every damn day. There are 24 hours in a day. Same for billionaires. Same for losers. The difference isn't time. It's how that time is used. Some build legacies. Some build excuses. You're not owed tomorrow. You only have now. And how you use now decides everything. Discipline beats talent every single time. Talent is nothing without the ability to apply it relentlessly. The world is full of talented losers. People with potential, with gifts, the woman you want, with skills. But their undish show up every day. They don't train when it's boring. They don't grind when no one is watching. They depend on motivation. And woman you want, and motivation is soft. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It shows up rain or shine. It moves when you're tired, when you're uninspired, when everything in you wants to quit edge. That's why discipline always wins. The broke mindset waits to feel right before acting. It says, the woman you want, I'll do it when I'm in the mood. I'll start when I'm ready. I'll commit when things calm down. That mindset gets crushed because life doesn't care about your feelings. It only rewards action. Talent may give you a head start, but if you don't have the discipline to finish, it means nothing. You'll get passed by the guy with less talent, but more consistency. And that's how it should be. Discipline is the ultimate equalizer. It's not about who starts fast. It's about who keeps going when discipline is brutal. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. It's reaps in silence. It's waking up early when no one claps for you. The woman you want, it's doing the same boring, repetitive things day after day because you know they work. Most people can't handle that. They want variety, stimulation, excitement. The woman you want, that's why they're broke. They don't have the patience to build. They chase what's fun. Discipline chases what's effective. It does what's necessary. It puts the mission above mood. And when you live like that, you become dangerous because now you can't be controlled by how you feel. You move with intention, not emotion. The disciplined mindset understands that progress compounds. It knows that every small, consistent action adds up. One disciplined day becomes 2. 2 becomes 10. 10 becomes a lifestyle. It's not about one massive move. It's about small wins stacked relentlessly. While everyone else is chasing shortcuts, you're building a foundation so strong it can't be shaken. The woman you want, you don't skip steps. You don't cut corners. You build brick by brick, and eventually you're so far ahead that talent alone can't compete. That's when people start calling you lucky. But it wasn't luck. It was discipline in the dark. Broke minds hate structure. They think routine is prison. They don't realize freedom comes from discipline. When your body, your mind, your habits are under control, you move different. You don't get distracted by everything shiny. The woman you don't fall off after one bad day. You stay locked in. You stay lethal. The woman you want. Most people have no idea what they're capable of because they've never stuck with anything long enough to find out. They quit when it gets dull. They quit when it gets hard. They quit when it's not exciting. And that's why they stay exactly where they are. Discipline also builds self-respect. When you do what you say you're going to do every single day, the woman you want, you start to trust yourself. Your confidence goes through the roof. You stop second guessing. You stop needing approval. You know you're dangerous because you've earned it, not with words, with action. That's something the broke mindset will never understand. They talk about goals. They journal and daydream. But when it's time to execute, they fall apart. They chase the feeling, not the result. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. It cares about domination. That's why it separates the elite from the average. Look around. The best athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the best soldiers, the best artists, they're not the most talented. They're the most disciplined. They show up every day, no matter what. They work when it's raining, when they're sick, when they've already made millions, because it's not about the outcome. It's about the identity. The woman you want. Discipline isn't just something you do. It's something you become. It seeps into how you walk, how you think, how you speak. It's an energy. It makes you unstoppable, untouchable, unshakable. And when discipline is locked in, nothing can break you. No one remembers the guy who had potential but didn't put in the work. No one respects the talker who didn't execute. They respect the one who showed up, the one who kept swinging when it wasn't easy, the one who bled for it. Talent might open the door. The woman you want, discipline kicks it off the hinges and builds the empire inside. You can't fake it. You can't borrow it. You earn it one painful, consistent day at a time. The woman you want, that's how you separate yourself from the herd. That's how you win in a world full of people who gave up too early. Your environment is either building you or breaking you. There is no neutral ground. The people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, the energy you tolerate, it all shapes your mindset. Broke mindsets live in broke environments. Environments full of complainers, doubters, time wasters. Conversations are about gossip, drama, negativity. Everyone's a victim. Everyone's waiting for something to change. That kind of energy is toxic. It doesn't inspire you to grow. It pulls you into comfort, into softness, into mediocrity. You can have the best intentions in the world, but if your circle is weak, your results will be too. Rich mindsets are forged in high pressure, high standard environments, surrounded by killers, people who expect more, people who push, not pamper. Conversations are about progress, discipline, growth, strategy. There's no space for pity, no tolerance for excuses. It's competitive. It's intense, but it elevates you. You start thinking sharper. You start moving faster. You stop settling. Your standard rises because you're around people who refuse to live average. That's the power of environment. It calibrates your identity. If you're around winners, you start thinking like one. If you're around losers, you become one by default. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they can outgrow a toxic environment without leaving it. You can't. If your crew has no ambition, your ambition will suffocate. If your circle mocks discipline, your discipline will erode. You are not immune to your surroundings. You're not that strong. Nobody is. If you want to change your life, you have to change what feeds your mind daily. That includes the people, the platforms, the content, the noise. You have to become ruthless about protecting your mental space, because once your mind is compromised, everything else follows. Broke environments normalize mediocrity. They convince you that it's okay to stay stuck, to stay broke, to stay safe. They'll say things like, "You've changed." When you start leveling up, they'll mock your hustle. They'll guilt trip your progress. That's how you know you're doing something right. The moment your environment feels uncomfortable with your evolution, you're on the right path. Growth threatens comfort zones, and people in broke mindsets will always try to pull you back down to their level. Not because they hate you, because your growth exposes their excuses. Rich environments don't let you slack. They challenge your beliefs. They hold you accountable. They're not impressed by your talk. They want results. They push you to move faster, think bigger, execute sharper. That pressure is a gift. It forces you to evolve. It breaks the softness out of you. You become more focused, more disciplined, more relentless. That's what you need if you want to play at the highest level. You need to be around people who won't let you settle, who see your potential and demand it from you daily. Most people are scared to leave their circle, even if that circle is destroying them. They fear being alone. They fear being judged. They fear starting over. So they stay stuck, surrounded by familiarity, surrounded by people who don't want to see them rise. But if you want a rich mindset, you have to get comfortable being the outcast, the black sheep, the lone wolf. You have to be willing to walk alone until you find the tribe that matches your hunger. Because the right environment won't just support you, it will multiply you. Even online, your digital environment matters. The pages you follow, the content you consume, the voices you listen to, it all programs your mind. Broke minds follow distractions. Rich minds follow value. Broke minds scroll endlessly. Rich minds study, learn, apply. Every scroll is a decision. Every click is shaping your direction. Most people don't even realize they've turned their phone into a weapon against themselves. Constant stimulation, zero growth. You have to flip that. Your attention is currency. Spend it on things that build you, not things that bury you. You want to change your mindset. Start by auditing your environment. Who are you around? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What kind of conversations dominate your day? If the answer is negativity, gossip, distraction, scarcity, you need to burn it down. Cut it out. Replace it. The right environment will change you faster than any book, any course, any speech. Because when you're surrounded by the right energy, you evolve without even trying. Standards become contagious, discipline becomes normal, winning becomes expected. And that's how you make success inevitable, not just a dream, but your baseline reality.